Hello, Dayspring Dreamers. I've been making some strange decisions lately, both in my personal life and in my artistic career, such as the Five Nights at Freddy's videos and all that, which no one's really complained about yet, but I feel like I should be taking initiative because I do take myself quite seriously as an artist. And I would like to do some preventative maintenance on this reputation, I suppose. I swear I'm not a bitch, even though I am talking in my classic mid-Atlantic accent. Viewers of this channel know I love doing accents. Although this one is somewhat put on, I feel like it speaks to some greater truth within me, but it's not really what I came here to talk about. What I came here to talk about is the future of this channel, the future of my life, and the future of the album, which I seek to create. Dayspring. Oh yes, Dayspring. It's why I call you Dayspring Dreamers, after all. But I want to catch people up to speed because not that many people can clearly define what the Dayspring Dream actually consists of. So I'd like to touch base here and hopefully elucidate the situation. The Dayspring Dream is the push inside of me, I guess, and the dream that you hold in your heart for me, to create the most amazing, incredible art rock indie album of all time, in admittedly less than ideal circumstances, though they may be, but I genuinely do intend to create this album. I have the songs, I have the demos up now, and I've even written some more songs. It's going to be a triple. It's going to be a triple album. And I really hope you're ready for it. I released a single, just making the album as I wanted to make. I just made the first song as a single to see if there's any interest. And it appears as though there was some modest interest. People are asking me to make more stuff. I did bully a lot of my friends into watching and commenting and liking, but I don't feel like that's that much of an indictment of the overall art, because I do think it was somewhat good. I am legitimately proud of it, and I am, I can admit that. Although I did have to whip people into kind of checking it out, I suppose. I believe restrictions birth a new creative spark, and it gives the ideas a grounded context that makes them more real and more connected to the eternal through the specifics of the creation. And I would really hope for that. Because why am I even doing this? It's because there aren't that many options. Because this isn't just a funny bit I'm doing online. This is like an actual thing I am doing with my life. Although I feel disconnected from my life sometimes and from the things happening around me. Oh, I am an observer. I'm creating all this. I do have to experience the consequences of my life choices, even though they are radically shocking and sometimes disgusting choices. These are choices I'm still making, and the question is why? Why do this? Listen, I lived a deeply unsatisfied and fearful life, working a job I hated. I'm not like Walter White. I'm like another thing. I'm like a secret third, fourth, fifth, whatever thing. I'm a new archetype entirely. But I did have, maybe some Heisenbergian tendencies at the start before I matured as a artist and presenter. I am a trans woman, and I do live in Texas. And although I guess I escaped the direct environment I grew up in, which was kind of weird and quite, I don't think about it that much. And I've made a whole new life for myself, less than 40 miles from the areas I grew up in, here in the big city, Denton, Texas. And honestly, when I got out of here, out of the places I was in, I realized that the world I entered into wasn't that much different than the world I had escaped. And there's really nowhere to run to. There's really no place to hide. And things were only getting worse every single day. And, eventually things reached a critical point, and my life kind of fell apart in every imaginable way. So I kind of held on to all that I could hold on to, which was this dream rooted in divinity. And it was also a way for me to investigate the symbolic world which I was so tormented by and straighten out its edges, look through every cupboard, and there weren't that many other better choices other than prostitution. So I kind of just went with it. Now, how has the dream progressed over time? Because I've been doing this for a while now. It's been a good couple of months, and this is season 3. Don't feel like you have to watch the other seasons, because I'm going to do a recap right now, and they're honestly pretty embarrassing videos. I originally set out to fully produce each track for the back then double album, and also do like music videos and other cool shit, but I wasn't really happy with the 2 songs or the 2 music videos I made with it, just alone in my room. And, time was running out. The walls were caving in, which all of those are artificial, because you can only see what's in front of you. You never see the divine always one step ahead of you, laying down the railroad tracks as you're barreling on down. But I felt like the walls were caving in, and I was battling the devil, and I thought, Dayspring Dreamers, the only way to make it out was to release those demos, which are very shitty quality. I'm still, I stand by them. Given the circumstances, I stand by them. I had a limited amount of time till, I'd be homeless, and I was like, fuck, I just need to make as much as I can. As much as I can of the album, I mean to say. And I just recorded the demos with this one mic and posted them on YouTube. And I did it. I got all the songs out. And, I met this chaser through TikTok. And he's a formerly homeless veteran. Disabled, on disability, and he offered me a free room through, his apartment was subsidized through the VA, and he offered me a free room in Chicago. And yes, I'd be totally dependent on him and very endangered, but I thought, I'd be able to do the album. But, I at the last minute, I was swooped in. There was an intervention done. Thank you. And it wasn't really even an intentional intervention. It was just I was hanging out with people, and they were like, what are you doing? Wait, why are you doing that? Wait, what's going on? And then I just kept talking. Well, here's the Dayspring Dream. And the Dayspring Dream, the walls are closing in. And that set off season 2. And I had quite the adventure, making lots of new friends. I realized that the world outside wasn't that scary. And, I had my confidants. And I started working in the local music scene more, again, as a solo artist. And I had some great measure of success, but I quickly brushed up against the limitations of it. And, I didn't really, everything was so chaotic in my life. I was like a neighborhood cat, going from place to place, that I didn't really have a place to record, to do it my way, how I wanted to do it, which was just me doing everything, because it's not really a perfectionist thing. It's not really me thinking I'm better than anyone or any other musician. It's just that I feel like I need to be on every aspect of the track, and that it's the only way for me to process what I'm trying to get through. And I'm doing this, to process this. It's a very important thing for me. I realized, I can't just turn the Dayspring vlog into just me talking about my personal life, just because it was so chaotic and weird. And I kind of got into that a little bit, but, I quickly just felt like it was kind of, invasive not only to the people around me, but also to me myself. I wasn't really fully comfortable with that. And I started to have more fun just making cash grab videos where I'd talk about Five Nights at Freddy's or Slither.io. And I had a lot of fun doing that, and it's something I intend to continue doing. But I did kind of lose the plot. And eventually I went off to reclaim, I suppose. To reclaim a sense of the dream. You know, I went off to make the first song, This Guy's Apartment, in the closet. And it was pretty awesome. And I did that. And the song's up. That's the single. You can listen to it right now. And my friends all thought I was going to die again, I'm pretty sure. Because I do crazy shit like this all the time and almost get killed. But I didn't. And I made the song. And I learned some lessons. And I figured shit out. And I'm going to continue to do that. The current concept is to create the songs and vlog the process as the walls close in and pray Christ hasn't forgotten me, which is the same premise as season 1. But this time, I'm going to do it right. In Dayspring Dreamers, you know I'm going to do it right. I'm going to use a modular studio, producing in parts whenever I have the thing available. Like, yeah, my life is chaotic. The seas are rough and tumbly, but I don't need, a man to solve all of my problems. I don't need a man to fix everything for me. I can't rely on that. The whole point of the fucking album is analyzing these fucking trends and shit. I can't do that. It'd be artistically terrible. It was fine for the first song, given the lyrics of that song, but for the overall production of the album, I just got to adapt the recording techniques to the situations that I am in, which I know I'm in, and this will be conceivably the only method of changing that other than death. So I'm highly motivated, and I've created in my mind and around me a modular studio where I can both do the AV production at a higher quality with the resources that I have always already had, and I can also do the audio and the songs and all that. And I think that's quite cool. I think I figured out something won't be annoying as fuck to lug around all the time. I think I have a good system. I'm not going to get too into it in this video. But the modular studio for the girl on the go. Let me know if that's a video you're interested in seeing. I am going to keep doing the cash grab videos, though, by the way. I'm not giving that up. I don't care if you watch it or not. I don't care if it kills my fucking channel. I don't care if it kills the whole fucking premise of the Dayspring vlogs, the Dayspring Dream, the album. Because I know it won't. I trust my instincts, and it brings me joy. It's fun to do. I think they're funny. I like that my feed is crazy, cool, artistic shit, and then a fucking Five Nights at Freddy's video. That's cool as hell. That's cool as hell to me. I'm playing Slither.io. I'm just fucking coming up with these ideas that are just golden. And I can't give that up just because I'm doing this flagship series. This project can quickly become obsessive and all around a destructive force in my life. It's still very, very meaningful to me. And I don't think my problem right now is workaholism. I think my problem right now is smoking weed and not having a job and shit. Those are problems. Problems that I kind of love to have. It's, temporary bliss. Get chased by a tiger. You're holding onto a branch. It's falling, below you. More tigers. But you eat a strawberry, and it's the sweetest strawberry you ever had. I learned that from the King of the Hill, and it's always been in my mind, and it's always motivated how I choose to live my life and how I choose to experience reality on the day-to-day basis, and I do think it's made me wiser. I do think it's made me more compassionate, and I do think it's made me more present. and more courageous and ready to take on tasks like these. This isn't like a House of Leaves, mind falling apart, obsessive artistic quest. This is me trying to do something that's fucking cool. And you know what? I believe that the good Lord has put this dream in my heart. And that's another thing with like the religion and all that. I'm not experiencing religious psychosis. You know, it's just whenever you speak about something that is definitionally ineffable, you sound like you're babbling. You sound foolish. But no, I do not follow any strict doctrine of religiosity. And I think that makes me, you know, a better spiritualist. I think that makes me a better follower of the highest light, of the Christ light, of the natural revolution that happens within your own mind if you only give it the space to process, and the natural mercy you incur. I was maybe experiencing something. Whenever I was so deeply inwards and disconnected from reality and seeing religious iconography and stuff, which Google says is religious psychosis. I don't think that's true. I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. I have a mind like Jupiter, okay? And I went inwards. I alchemized that shit. I broke on through with the art. And here I am to do it all over again. Boy, howdy, I'm ready to get to work. This modular studio system, I think it's the ticket. And with a little help from the Lord above, I hope you... And then we'll make it work for sure. Dayspring dreamers, Dayspring dancers. I'll see you in the next video. You can't keep up with the New Year's rhythm.